reaching out to you as well?
Well, I mean, at the beginning, I was more just letting her know that I was supportive. I mean, I think it's very lonely, and I'm not sure what you thought, my team thought. I mean, again, my university was trying to control the narrative. They were putting out these letters and these writings that the entire team was supportive of the situation, and there's news stories saying the University of Pennsylvania women's swim team loves this happening and is, benefiting from this. And I just wanted someone to know that was not true, that even if the rest of my team agreed, which was not the case, that I disagreed. So that's kind of why I reached out, and we talked for a little bit.
And she wasn't the only UPenn swimmer to send a message. One of her teammates sent a letter in the mail explaining the way she described it, which it really kind of ingrained in my brain, the words she used. She said it felt like a sick joke. Because she went to her coach and expressed, this was kind of a violation of her religious freedom. She felt it went against her religion to be forced to undress in front of a man in that capacity in an intimate setting such as a locker room. And her coach kind of acknowledged it and said, it's a non-negotiable essentially. But she said it felt like a sick joke because the day after she expressed how this is a violation of her religious freedom, her coach assigned lockers and put her locker directly next to his in the locker room.
Yeah, and just quickly to add to that, I obviously know exactly which teammate this is. She changed in the family locker room outside of our locker room for half the season, and the other half she changed in the bathroom stall. And I was fortunate enough to have a locker in a further away section, so I was less exposed to Leah. It was still incredibly uncomfortable, and I would never want to experience that ever again. But that being said, I know this particular teammate, and she changed outside of the locker room. She was the person who changed away from the rest of the team because of this one man.
And we could tell stories like this for the next 5 hours. I'm not even kidding you. Story after story after story after story of this happening, not just to the NCAA Division I swimmers. This is so much broader than that. And I know this because I get those messages. I get the messages from the young girls who, like Paula and myself, didn't know what to do. We didn't know there were resources. We didn't know we could just not compete. I mean, I guess we knew, but the logistics of it, I get those messages from the young girls, and I get the messages from the parents who call me crying watching their daughters be humiliated and trampled on in their sport. And I get the messages from pastors who feel like they're in this predicament and they don't really know how to take a stand, which, let me add, that is where we need to take a stand as well. We talked a lot about